Welcome back to Studio F, where on Fast Time Willy B, we'll be reviewing the Bikeriders. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Name, Russell.
Welcome back to Fast Time Willy B. I'm Willy B. I got Kory back. Kory, how we doing?
Yeah, good. Good.
How the hell we doing?
How the hell? We doing good. How the hell we doing?
Doing good.
I like your hat.
Thank you.
I think it's a little outdated.
A little bit.
I'm just kidding. We're not getting into this. Who are you voting for? I'm just kidding.
The Chief. No, I'm kidding. So today we'll be reviewing the Bikeriders.
Sure.
Directed by Jeff Nichols.
Josh Nichols.
Not Josh Nichols. Jeff Nichols.
All right.
Give him credit where credit's due.
Jeff Nichols, yeah. I guess I should say his name, considering I like this movie a lot.
For sure.
I should give him the honor of saying his name correctly.
Great cast.
Great cast.
Tom Hardy,
Yeah.
Austin Butler, Jodie Comer, Michael Shannon, Boyd Holbrook. Mm-hmm. Who am I forgetting? Mike Feist.
Mike Feist.
And many more.
Many more. Yeah.
Norman Reedus.
Toby Wallace.
Toby Wallace.
Yes.
And
I say that as if it is like the first thing probably anyone's going to see him in.
Yeah, that's
I looked at his discography and I was like...
Norman Reedus is worth throwing in there for sure.
Yeah, Norman Reedus is... Yeah, obviously.
And a lot of lesser-known people, but...
Mm-hmm.
Let's just go with good.
That's a pretty solid
The acting was good.
Good. That's a 10. That's undeniable.
Yeah, the acting
10.
was fantastic.
Terrific.
Tom Hardy and Austin Butler are obviously the standouts. Jodie Comer was fantastic too.
She might have been my second favorite person in this movie. Close to being my favorite.
When you watch the
She's
trailer,
the best part about Free Guy. I don't like that movie.
Okay.
She's the best part.
When you watch the trailer of this movie, you don't realize that she's the main character.
It's her movie.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. I thought for sure it was going to be Austin Butler's, then Tom Hardy's, and then Jodie Comer's. It's definitely
Jodie Comer's movie.
It actually might be Jodie Comer, Tom Hardy, and then Austin Butler.
You could argue that Tom Hardy and Austin Butler are both in a supporting role.
I would say they.
I don't
Probably
know
are.
I don't know how the Academy and the award givers will view it, but
I'm sure. Yeah.
Jodie Comer is the lead in this film.
They'll probably say Austin Butler's the co-lead just because usually if somebody's dating in a movie, they're just going to call you a co-lead.
Co-leads, yeah. I mean, Austin Butler and Tom Hardy take up a lot of screen time as well, but this was Jodie Comer's movie,
Yeah.
And honestly, I liked that. It wasn't what I was expecting, but I enjoyed it.
Agreed. Yeah, definitely a pleasant surprise.
For sure.
Especially. I loved it, honestly.
Yeah, she was fantastic. Tom Hardy, he still kills it. I loved what you said when we were leaving the theater. Mm-hmm. Tom Hardy makes me realize I don't have to have a deep voice to be a badass. I love that.
I know, that was my favorite thing about him, honestly.
Yeah.
Because there's some roles he kind of does the less deep voice thing. He's got a pretty versatile voice, that guy.
Yeah.
Honestly. You look at, like, Bane, Max, and then now this, or, like, even if you watch Legend, where he's playing the dual roles, like, he's great at that high-pitched voice thing.
He was awesome as Johnny. Mm-hmm. Austin Butler, great as Benny. I loved our whole group of Vandals. Yeah. You know, at the beginning.
Yeah.
As the Vandals grow, obviously, they're made to be asshats, but
Yeah.
Our core group was a lot of fun. I fell in love with these characters very quick.
Yeah.
You know, the characters were great.
Charming in a weird way.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
The structure of this movie I liked a lot. I liked how it, Mike Feist is this photographer, journalist that's kind of riding with them and taking pictures while also recording them because he hopes one day to make a book. Based on a true story.
Yeah. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah.
Going into it.
And, it's based on Feist's character and what he pulled from all of this. And I liked that aspect a lot. The trailer did a really good job at keeping a lot of things hidden.
And
it made for a lot of pleasant surprises.
Yeah, it definitely made it seem like... the story really is about Johnny wanting to pass things on to
pass the torch.
Austin, And but really, whenever you watch the movie, like again, the movie is about that, but there's so much more going on there.
Yeah.
Like a lot of it really is dedicated to the Tom Hardy growing old side of things. Things kind of spiraling out of his control.
Yeah.
Because from the trailer it makes it seem like, oh, I'm the badass leader of this club, and I love that.
Yeah.
Pretty early on they established, like, he's he doesn't really love it. At first, you know, he does it because he thinks he has to.
Yeah.
But then pretty early on, I mean, the first scene you see him where Jodie Comer goes into the bar, I mean, he looks sloppy in there.
Yeah.
You know?
I think there's a lot of great character development in this movie. Obviously, Comer's character from going in there to drop things off to her friend to her becoming basically an extension of the Vandals. Mm-hmm. Benny, kind of, you know, he starts as he doesn't need to ask anybody for anything. It's all me. Like, not like he's selfish, but like if I don't ask for anything from anybody, then they won't expect stuff from me type of mentality. Right. To like he loses Johnny and you get to see him shed that tear. It flips a switch.
That was a great arc for him. Yeah, honestly.
Johnny's arc was great too in the sense that you just explained. And then even, you know, the bad guy had a good arc. He sees the Vandals drive by towards the beginning of the movie for the first time, idolizes these guys, inspires him to make bikes from his own hand, make his own little gang, asks to be in the gang, fails to get in, and then it comes full circle when he challenges for the role after he gets in the Milwaukee branch. Mm-hmm. And even he had, you know, he obviously didn't have as much of a role in between some of those scenes, but he even had this arc that came together at the end, and I thought the character development was really good in this movie.
I found myself thinking about that a lot, that whole thing with the kid, especially today. First things first, this movie, I'm still thinking about it, which is always a good sign when you watch it.
This movie, yeah, for sure.
And it didn't really click with me until today that I was like, oh my God, what a full circle, not even just a full circle moment for the kid, but for Tom Hardy especially, I think. Like you already ran through, but the way he inspires him and just the way it comes full circle with, you know, his tragic demise and all these things, it's a very bittersweet movie, which is always my favorite taste. And also this comes to like, and I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but like towards the ending, that's always what I want. That's always what's gonna stick with me in a movie, a bittersweet ending. Yeah. Or even more of a bitter ending, actually. It tends to stick with me a lot more.
No, the ending was very good. I mean, we don't have to go in a specific order, so let's talk about the ending. Mm-hmm. It does have the bittersweet, you know, the bitter obviously being we lose Johnny. Mm-hmm. Honestly, my jaw dropped when that happened. You know, when he challenges him, I kind of got the idea that we were going to lose Johnny. Yeah. Because his wife asks him to pick up eggs on his
Yes, me too. Yeah.
And he asks where the girls are. So I kind of felt like Johnny felt
bookend. Yeah. He saw that coming.
I did not expect him to whip out a gun and shoot him point blank though.
See, there was definitely, I was waiting for something to happen. Because just something in me told me that it wasn't just going to be a fair, I mean, it's a knife fight, or a fair knife fight, I guess. But it still caught me by surprise. The way it goes down, it's so unceremonious. Yeah. And what a moment when that kid walks up to the rest of Johnny's crew and just gives them the...
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Wild. Yeah. Like, good, powerful moment.
But then you get a little bit of a sweep. And that's when you realize Benny came back and he did shed a tear. Yeah. And you see them happy in Florida. They give that little smile through the window. Loved it.
I was gonna say there's even like a small minute bittersweet there with the you know, where she's like, you know, he hasn't ridden since Johnny died. He doesn't think about it. I don't think he misses it. I don't think he even, you know, blah 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 blah. It kind of seems sweet, kind of seems bitter, and then you get the little wink that they kind of give each other, the little smile, and it just a lot is said in like the last 20 seconds of that movie. Yeah. That's perfect. That's the kind of stuff I love.
Fantastic ending. That. Yeah. Another thing I loved about this movie, obviously the aesthetic, the set design. I was looking back at the movies I've loved the last few years, and it's all of the movies that just throw it back to before we were alive. Mm-hmm. The Iron Claw was 70s, 80s. The Holdovers was 70s. Mm-hmm. This one right here, 60s, 70s.
We have to establish the movie still has to be good. We still don't care about Priscilla that much.
That's fair. I mean, when we talked about Priscilla, in my good was the aesthetic and the set design.
I think that was the best part about the movie.
And
I think
the soundtrack.
We said that. Yeah. Soundtrack.
And
same thing here. Great set design. Great aesthetic.
Oh, it's just
even character design. I think is great. Mm-hmm. Everyone had a distinct look. Yeah, for sure. I really like the distinct look of everybody. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Norman
you have like
Reedus, you have
slick
to...
back sideburns of Cockroach. You have the shaggy big brute in Zipco, which is Michael Shannon's character.
Yeah.
You have the two guys. You have guys with headbands, guys with long earrings.
God.
Austin Butler's just this mean, gritty guy that's always got dirt on his face.
See, you watch the movie and you look at Michael Shannon. And by the way, I love Michael Shannon. He's a top 10 actor for me, I think.
Okay.
But I stare at him and I'm like, doesn't get any more greasy than this fucking guy. And then Norman Reedus shows up.
What is it? Funny Sonny?
Funny Sonny, yeah. And you're like, yes, it can get
the
a
teeth.
lot worse. The black teeth. I'm like, dude, you look more like Fade Routher right now than Austin Butler does with your black teeth.
Dude,
disgusting.
It was very good set design, character design, costumes. All of that was done very well.
We need to give a special shout out to also a set design to the vehicles used.
Yeah.
The bikes were beautiful.
And awesome.
I mean, you get classic Harleys, Indians, Hondas, whatever, all that stuff. Beautiful. Yeah. There was a part where Bruce, whenever Bruce dies, and Brucey runs into that freaking car, man. And I remember like being really struck. I mean, you see it coming by the way, Jodie Comer's character is talking about it. Kathy, I just remembered. You see it's he's about to get hit or die or whatever. But then whenever he gets hit, I remember my heart just sunk because I was like, oh my God, one of the that's it's the first of like. Yeah, you're assuming some are going to come later.
Kind of like the Iron Claw.
Exactly.
That's just the beginning.
That's the beginning of the...
And the way that they show, like, the blood on the window, too, like...
Oh, yeah, because they cut away from it, and then they cut back to it, and it's the blood on the window and the... But what I was getting to is, in that scene, I heard some fucking guy behind me go... God, wouldn't you like to have that car? So clearly, somebody's loving watching these cars all day.
No, the cars were really nice too. Like not just the bikes. They did a really good job at making this feel like it was late '60s, early '70s throughout this entire movie.
Yeah, and I love the nod to Marlon Brando.
Yep.
And was it The Wild Ones? Is that what that movie's called?
I think so.
But
how he's like, this is how he starts the club.
He literally watched it and he's like,
I'm gonna over. He's like, I'm going to start a club.
I'm going to call some guys. I love that. He didn't... It was like...
And his wife's just watching him like, what the hell are you
Why
doing?
are you so fucking into that? And the girls walk by for like half a second. He's like, can you...
Yeah.
He's really into that movie.
I mean, to kind of, segueing off of this, the comedy was really good too. Obviously, this is listed, I believe, as a crime thriller, which you get that.
Yeah.
But the comedy fit in very well with this movie, and I think a lot of the comedy just came from that brotherhood kind of vibe. Like these guys would do anything for. Absolutely. Even the scene where they're just talking to another bike gang, and Austin Butler just comes in guns a-blazing.
Dude, that scene was awesome.
Hilarious, but awesome.
Hilarious, and then the part where he punches the window. I mean, it's funny, but you're also like
starts wailing on the dude.
And then later on, whenever Tom Hardy grabs him, he's like. No. And he's just like, you're right, I'm going to stop.
Well, then later they're talking and he goes, what does he say? He's like, what were you thinking coming in so high like that? And he goes, in his deep voice, he's like, I saw you guys were roughing.
He's like, you guys look like...
They had really good chemistry. I like Tom Hardy with Austin Butler a lot.
Absolutely. I'd love to see them in more stuff.
For sure.
I don't know why that matchup
it felt like Big
sense.
Brother, Little Brother.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm sure Austin Butler is going to say that in interview. I bet he already has said that in
Probably.
interview. Tom was like a big brother to me.
Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah.
There's not much to complain about from this one for me.
No, I mean, hair and makeup was on point. Jodie Comer had some hair that I was like, I don't know how you do that, but good
Score and soundtrack was good. Soundtrack, obviously, I love the oldies, but
soundtrack
the score kind of came in with like this like... It was like more of a voice than any instrument that would just come in occasionally, and it was very impactful in my opinion.
Yeah, it was.
Very like angelic, almost.
There was definitely a blissful aesthetic to this. Yeah. These rowdy rough boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and even like one of the scores that sat with me was the whole thing with the funeral and the parents showing up and everything.
Spit on and
that was just. It was great. And also the way it was shot, like cinematography was really good too. I thought the cinematography was terrific.
I thought Nichols did a great job with his direction. There were some awesome shots, and my favorite part of this movie is almost the theme that like how much value is placed in brotherhood, in the sense that like you got the toughest of the tough, the Vandals of Chicago. and they lose somebody, and you see them kind of collapse. They lose Brucey, and things are different.
She even says that. Like, she was like, after Brucey died, like, things just turned fast.
And then, obviously, once Johnny dies, we see a side of Benny that that even Kathy said she had never seen when his dad died. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, he's better off.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot because, I don't know, I value friendship and brotherhood, obviously, very high. And, I like my friends.
Yeah.
I like you. You're all right.
I like you too.
But, but I don't know. It sat well with me.
Yeah, for sure. I
liked it a lot.
Same here. And I definitely like that it brings you in a way at the beginning of the movie where you really do enjoy watching them just hang out. I mean, just them all riding bikes down the street. I'm locked in like this while these dumbasses are just riding down the street.
I had watched The Exorcism before this movie, and I told you, I was like, I gotta get a soda just in case I start, because The Exorcism kind of put me in a sleepy mood because it wasn't great. And
it wasn't great.
I took 2 sips of my soda, and then I was locked in, and I'm like, I get down the theater, I'm like, why the hell did I get a large?
I know, you walked out, you're like, dude, I'm pissed. You're like, I bought a large Coke for nothing, or whatever you got.
Yeah, a Pib.
I do like a Dr. Pibb.
Oh, I'd take a sip of that Pib right now. But it's dumped out. I dumped it out.
Yeah, I mean, you had to. All your ice was melted into it too, so that's a factor.
But no, this movie it kept me locked in.
Yeah,
I was in for the long haul.
It brings you in, but then it doesn't glorify things either. It's still, you're still very aware that, like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Like the moment whenever Austin Butler gets his ass kicked outside that bar.
Yeah. Oh
ridiculous. The first things first, I'm very certain that if he just gave a shit to fight back, like he really wanted to.
Oh, he'd kick their ass.
He would have beat him up.
Yeah.
But he just like was playing hard ass, like I can take a punch, and then eventually got rocked.
Yeah.
Way too hard. And then also there's some horrific stuff that happens in this. I mean, like whenever Cockroach gets, is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cockroach gets shot, like he has to shoot himself in the leg before he's allowed to leave the gang, and even Austin Butler's character is pretty shaken up about it. Benny's not okay with that.
That's when Benny leaves.
But the scene that really got me the most, obviously the one that's supposed to, is whenever they almost take Kathy upstairs.
Yeah.
That scene's rough.
Yeah, and I mean...
And that's where you start to see the negative of this brotherhood thing.
Yeah, for sure. And it's, the new guys, once again, doing their stupid shit. But my confusion with do you have anything else you'd like to add to good before I jump to this? Because I guess this is probably my only nitpick. I mean, a lot of it falls...
There's a lot of it that's... I mean, you could just assume pretty much almost everything was good. I have, one thing, so...
Yeah. And you could say it in final thoughts. So we'll hop to the meh.
Yeah.
The only nitpick I have... Because I thought the pacing was good for a 2-hour movie. The only nitpick I have is in that scene, the new guys do their, fuck shit. And they're trying to take her upstairs.
Yep.
And Johnny comes in and he does his thing. He stops them. And then down the road, they're like, oh, like how you helped Kathy? And I'm like, dude, I get it you weren't there because you were taking Cockroach to the hospital. But he did stop those assholes.
Yeah, I actually was confused by that too. Because I
was like, Johnny did do good by Kathy, in my opinion.
I don't know what else he could have done.
Yeah.
Except, I mean, I think he should have, kicked him out of the gang on the spot.
That's fair.
Maybe that. He didn't have to,
But he took care of her.
He definitely took care of her, made sure she was safe. I was kind of hoping that Johnny would at least go, hey, do you want me to take you home? But he never said that.
That's
so I was
fair.
But
wait, weren't they... No, they weren't. I was going to say, weren't they at their house, but they weren't.
Yeah, they're on some fucking cabin in the woods or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
just thinking that they were at her house
that.
because she talked about how, if she had made it upstairs, she was going to take his gun out and shoot herself.
Yeah, she said something like, if they had made it upstairs, I would have maybe even gotten somebody else's gun. Or maybe it was whenever she got home, she would have gotten his gun. Or,
that's fair.
Or whatever it is. But that's a pretty horrendous...
I thought Johnny did
They shot that real well, by the way. Kept cutting to the stairwell.
Yeah.
Because there's a hot second where you're like, are they going to get her upstairs?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sheesh.
Did you have anything in the meh?
I know. Yeah, I don't have anything in the bad.
I don't have anything in the bad. There was nothing bad about it.
No, I don't think there was anything bad. And the Met, I would say, I disagree a little bit on pacing. I think
that's what I thought.
Some moments pump the brakes a little too much.
Okay.
Not too much. Nothing egregious. I definitely would have. I couldn't even tell you what specifically. There's just some of the layout of things where we were cutting back to things. And also some things got confusing because, whenever she's talking to Mike Feist, she's like, look at all these goons. They're sitting on my couch and Benny's not even here and whatever. Yeah. I don't know where that's at in the timeline.
That's fair.
And then later it cuts to them in Florida and there's no vandals at all. So I'm like, when did we go from that to like years down the road?
That's fair.
I'm sure it's I'm
guessing it's in between them moving to Florida and him coming back home after Johnny's death.
I think so. Yeah.
I'm not even going to argue the pacing thing with you because I don't think you're going to be the only one that feels that way. Mm-hmm. I personally did enjoy the pacing. I thought it was very well paced. My thing is I tend to get sucked in by the older aesthetic, and that kind of just throws pacing.
You're just like, that's good.
It could just be 3 hours of that, and I'm locked and loaded.
That's true. That's fair. That's fair. Personal preference.
Yeah.
And then
just like, like you love the Dune movies, and I love the Dune movies too. Mm-hmm. I think the pacing takes a little hit for me because I'm not as enthralled by the science fiction epics. So that it's kind of like that.
It's tailored to you. That was tailored to me.
Yeah, and this definitely, just that old feeling. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For sure. And for me, the other thing is I think the balance of some characters was a little off. Okay. I could have used some more Michael Shannon.
Yeah.
I could have used...
I could have used more of all of them. You could have given me another hour.
That's true. I actually think you could have actually made this movie 15, 20 minutes longer.
This could have been a 2.5-er. This could have been a 2.5-er for sure.
I think so, for sure.
I think it fell in just under 2. I think it was like an hour 55.
Yeah.
Is what it's logged as.
Just something like that.
Whatever, but it could have been a...
And I would have been totally fine with it.
For sure.
But yeah, there's just a couple, Norman Reedus wasn't in it as much. To be fair, I forgot he was in it, so I wasn't that upset about it. The one that really...
He was a minor character, so it didn't
that one I'm actually
too much.
I'm fine with that one.
Yeah.
It's mostly the Michael Shannon one, because not only could I have used a little bit more of him, but he also he just fucking disappears out of nowhere. Because he's there, he's hanging out, and then just after a certain point, he's not in the movie, and then the next thing you hear of him, he moved to Mexico. And it's like, I would have liked a little more something.
I did like his story at the fire. I did like his story
about not the only time he cried was because he tried to get in Vietnam, and maybe it wasn't the only time, but because he was trying to get in. And
that's when we get Norman Reedus characters. Why are you here? I actually sent here to kick his ass.
Yeah.
But I like you guys.
Well,
stick around.
Yeah. I mean, you knew it was going.
And then you see down the road that they're hanging out. They get the dress for Kathy together.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's at fault for that.
Yeah.
That silly bastard. But, and also like the kid, which first of all, I think that guy was it Toby Wallace was his name?
Yeah.
I think he did terrific. I am so sorry.
Oh, you're good. Leave
it in the video, pussy.
Time to wake up.
I think Toby Wallace did incredible as the kid. I actually thought he was really great. I think I liked him a little more pre-taking that turn.
Okay. So you would have liked to see what him getting accepted into the group at first would have been like.
Yeah. I guess that's not even anything wrong with the movie. It's just I liked the vibe of him at first. I liked his
I love the test that Johnny gives him.
Yeah, I know. Which I knew when he asked that. I was like, he's not going to let him in if he decides to leave his friends. I just know it. And I actually don't think he was ever really going to let him in. I'm
kind of surprised that his friends took him back after that. I'm like, you asshole.
I also thought about that too. That after he's just back at it, he's like, we got a new gang, and I'm going to fucking kill you. And it's like, why is Fat Mullet Kid and all the other kids still behind you? Why'd you do that?
Yeah.
You suck. Yeah, I would have ditched it. They probably should have just beat him up right there, honestly.
Decimated him.
And also when he goes to take a swipe at Johnny and Johnny just beats the shit out of him.
So good.
Great. Which also, now that I think about it, that kid made the right decision because you probably would have lost that.
Yeah, probably.
So yeah, I think I would have been curious about that, but this is the pacing thing, or really just the weirdness of the layout of the story. He shows up to that picnic, and he's like, who do I talk to get in the gang? They're like, that guy. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to talk to that guy. And you don't see him for 15, 20 minutes, and then he shows up in a different scene, and is like, I heard you're the guy to talk to.
Yeah.
Why didn't you talk to him at the fucking picnic?
I wonder if it's because they were about to get into the fight. If that delayed things.
Maybe. I just would have liked, if they just had a scene, I just wish they had put in something to explain that they're not now. Like, we got to upgrade our bikes before we talk to this guy, or we got to, wait for this, or they're about to get in the fight.
Wait for the right moment, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, just something.
Let it be set on screen.
Or at least let it be shown that they left at the least. But they just cut back and then just nothing for a minute. It's like, it's just kind of weird.
That's fair.
But nothing egregious or that I hate,
I definitely agree there's nothing in the bad. A lot of this movie, most of this movie is good.
I would say there's one thing in the bad.
What do you got?
Norman Reedus' teeth. You got to brush, man. You got to brush.
Oh, yeah,
you got to brush.
That's that California living, baby.
Yeah, you got to brush. All you people from California, brush your teeth.
No, that's that California living with no personal hygiene.
Yeah, he's just, oh, God, I don't even, first of all, I bet filming that sucked because everybody was wearing long jeans and leather jackets for
oh, my God.
13. Could you imagine wearing that right now?
This week.
Oh, Christ, God. On a bike, literally.
This week has blown chunks.
Yeah.
But as far as temperature goes.
Humid.
Not a bad week, personally, as far as, I
had a bad week.
There's been moments.
I'm just kidding.
There's been moments.
Oh, yeah.
It's been an up and down week.
Yeah.
It's been up and down.
Bikeriders was good, though.
No, Bikeriders was awesome.
Bikeriders was good.
After a little bit of a down. From
Bikeriders. Oh, yeah, that's right. Boy, you had an up and down on the same day.
Yeah. So let's hop to our final thoughts and rating. What do you want to leave off the Bikeriders, and what do you give this movie out of 10?
Well, first of all, I just want to say the best thing Austin Butler's been in is Dune Part 2. I think that's the most important thing I could... No, I'm just kidding. I just want to... the movie's great. Like, at the end of the day, the two minor complaints I had were not a huge deal.
For sure.
I just what an interesting... this
Worth
isn't...
the wait.
Worth the wait.
The delay was bumming me out, because I think you actually anticipated this one more than me. I was down for it, but it just kept getting pushed.
And I was kind of excited for it pre-Dune, even.
Yeah.
And the only thing I'd seen Austin Butler in before that would have been
Elvis,
and
three, in my opinion.
Maybe an episode of Hannah Montana when I was forced to watch it with my sister.
Zoe 101.
Oh yeah, that's right. Probably that. My sisters watched that a bunch.
Movie-wise, though, I think he's been in 3 great movies.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I totally agree. So far, he's not missing. He could be. I mean, obviously he's a rising star, but he genuinely could be a. I mean, he could be a star, because there's a lot of stars that they're A-list for about 5 years and then they're gone.
Yeah.
I think his name could really stand the test of time for a while. Tom Hardy, I already loved Tom Hardy. Everybody loves Tom Hardy.
Me too.
This might be my favorite performance of him, actually.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's up there.
It's up there.
It probably
I saw this
is.
one review that said, "I can't believe Eddie Rock and Elvis are friends." Like,
that's very interesting.
It's like, those are the 2 characters you pull out. But anyway,
yeah.
I mean, Elvis obviously iconic for Austin Butler, but I was like, Eddie Brock, so you pull out for Tom Hardy.
Out of all the things,
not Mad Max.
Like, Bane.
Yeah, Bane. But anyways, no, Tom Hardy. This was probably my favorite performance of his as well.
Yeah, and Jodie Comer as well. Obviously, my favorite performance.
Her sample size is obviously a little smaller, but
yeah, for her, I think I've only ever seen Free Guy. I've wanted to see The Last Duel for a while, the Ridley Scott movie. I haven't gotten around to it, but so far, definitely my favorite performance from her as well. I think it's a terrific movie. I think it's one I'll probably buy, unless, who knows, maybe I'll move for a 16th time this year. But all in all, I loved it. Yeah. I did.
What are you scoring it?
I'm going to stick it with a solid 8.5 out of 10.
Okay. For me, I'm going to land on a 9.5 out of 10.
Oh, 9.5. Oh, I can't wait to watch my reaction back on that.
9.5.
You'd think the Undertaker's theme just started playing.
When I was leaving the theater, I was between a 9 and a 10. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, if I'm between a 9 and a 10, that means 9.5, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go 9.5. I like this one a lot. Like I said, I mean, really the only thing that knocks on it is that minor nitpick I had, so I guess that takes it down from the 10. But This is a movie I honestly want to revisit in theaters. Mm-hmm. I'd like to watch this in theaters again.
I wouldn't mind to see it again.
It will be one I buy.
We'll see how time goes.
It will be one I buy. I encourage, if you haven't seen it, please go check it out. It's definitely worth the watch.
Absolutely. High recommend so far. I think this is my second favorite movie of the year.
It's second for me too.
I felt like I felt like that needed to be said. I'm sorry.
If I had to rattle off my top 5 right now, I think I'm going Fall Guy, Abigail, Leading Out with the Devil, and Dune 2.
Mm-hmm. Solid list. And to each their own. Yeah. But that's way off. You'd
probably say that same list, just the other way around.
Close.
But no.
I like The Beekeeper.
The Beekeeper was a great movie. But no, this is up there. This is, and I have a feeling it's going to stay up there.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope this movie does well. I haven't checked the box office anything at all.
I was actually, when I left this movie, and I was like, man, Dune might be my 5th favorite movie of the year. I was like, how is Dune 5th for me? And we still haven't even gotten Deadpool and Nosferatu, which are 2 movies I am highly anticipating.
And Joker 2.
And Joker 2. And Joker 2.
We have some heat coming.
There's other movies.
Kraven the Hunter.
Well, okay. I was going to say, like...
Venom 3.
I'm excited for Smile 2. I'm excited for Terrifier 3. Like, I just don't anticipate those movies being better than Dune.
Yeah. Right.
Nosferatu and Deadpool are 2 movies that I feel like could be in that 9.5 to 10 range.
I'm going to call it right now. Deadpool is absolutely going to be better than Dune for you. And I'm going to say Nosferatu is definitely going to be better than Dune for you, I think.
The Nosferatu trailer was awesome.
Joker probably beat Dune as well for you as well.
Another takeaway from this movie, getting that trailer.
Worth it.
Dude.
Worth it.
Robert Eggers' aesthetic vibe, everything about him is
I'm not even
awesome.
The biggest Robert Eggers guy in the world, but that looks like it could easily be my favorite Eggers movie.
Oh, yeah.
I'm calling it. I think it will be.
His other movies.
Yeah, I love The Lighthouse. I love The Vitch. I forgot. I don't care for the North one. I have to rewatch it because whatever. The Bikeriders is great.
The Bikeriders is awesome.
Yeah, it's worth it for the trailer to Nosferatu.
Well, that's not the only reason it's worth it. It's worth it because it's a 2-hour master. Well, I don't want to say masterpiece because I feel like that's not a great word to just throw around. But it's a phenomenal film.
Sure, it's phenomenal. I would say that as well.
For sure. That will do it for the Bikeriders.
Sweaty handshake.
For sure.
It's getting hot in here.
That 90-degree week here in Ohio, baby. We got
Stay
Florida
cool
weather.
out there, fellas.
We're the new basement.
And fellows?
We're the new basement of America, baby.
Yeah.
Ohio.
Yeah.
Just this week. It's supposed to get better. It's supposed to get better.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for watching. If you like what you're watching, check out some of the other videos. Hit the subscribe button or follow the social links down below. I appreciate whatever you do. I appreciate you just being here. So thank you again, and we will talk to you all soon. Peace.